So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I closed 50K projects. Now, for those of you that are on the higher end of the scale, like a lot of our clients that's doing 250, 500, working with Fortune 500 companies, take the exact strategies from here and apply. You can have a massive increase in your budgets. For those of you that are struggling to do 2K projects, we just literally this morning took someone that was selling $200 videos to 5,000 with this exact strategy. So please like and subscribe to the channel, get your pens and paper out, and let's get started. Okay, so let's dive into this and let's start working through how I closed 50K projects consistently, okay? And then how can you do that? So the first thing I want to bring to your attention is like, why is it that many talented, and I mean really talented, we speak to about 200-300 people per day that are in the filmmaking space, videographers, video agencies, producers, directors, and everything in between. Why is it there's so many of you watching this and so many of you that we speak to on the daily basis are struggling to charge premium rates or to get land higher projects? Now, some of you may even be frustrated at just getting a $250,000 high-end commercial because there wasn't enough in the deal, or because you can't sell something over 2K. This really comes down to a lot of factors that are going on in your mind and your belief system. But first, let's talk about what you could be telling yourself. So is it really just cheap market? Is it there's picky clients, or is it just plain bad luck, like an evil force coming at you, just not giving you the opportunity? Or have you been playing by the rules designed to keep you broke, overworked, underpaid, and all that stress that comes with that? But to me, and I know because I was there and I was in the same, and it's not your fault because I was lucky. I stumbled across this and learned the method behind it. And a lot of you would be also feeling like this, is that, and you probably don't want to hear this, but it's very much your excuses that are getting in the way. Now, there is some logistical, locational things. There may be a particular niche. If you're going after, say, someone that doesn't make a lot of money and you're selling to them, then that can be a logistical reason why you can't get premium budget. But even then, if you're helping them scale up and you're helping them get more clients and closing, then that can also transition into very large budgets. But right now, there's a proven method to package powerful cinematic videos that clients will pay for. I call them visual assets. When you learn how to position them, price them, pitch them, this is when you're going to attract bigger clients and command higher fees without the guesswork. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the mindset. I'm going to show you a few ways to look at this, a few key strategies. I'm going to break down our sales process and what you can do to start thinking about your own sales process and how to sell them on the outcome versus the time, the day rate, the camera equipment, the crew, and all the things that you are doing. Okay. So let's first talk about, why is video killing your business? The price slashing nightmare. It traps you in a rat race of price concessions, needing to offer discounts. And this is the worst, price concessions in almost every call to close the deal, and have some defining standouts factors. Like, you've got to put in a lot more extra stuff when you sell it like this. The silent confidence killer. This also leads to you sort of really burning your internal value system, like really feeling like that you are a commodity, feeling that you are a human tripod, just feeling like it doesn't do anything for your self-belief. And you've got to protect this at all costs. The bottom line is this: the reason you're facing these issues is because you're not selling assets. You're just simply selling videos. You're not selling visual assets, things that are going to help them move the needle. And that's what you really need to be focusing on. That gives leverage in taking the wrong mindset when it comes to how you understand your services. Okay, so let's move on. The brand storytelling mindset. This is where you basically take the mindset of talking to clients when you talk about outcomes over the technical. Now, a lot of smart marketers and a lot of smart agencies will always try to pull you into this technical conversation because they know it relates to time. They don't want to talk about outcomes. And this is why I don't really like working directly with agencies. I like, on my agency myself, talk about outcome directly with the brands. That's one of the things that you need to sort of understand. Someone's white labeling. You're making these assets, but they're talking to you in terms of technical. It's one way that they're going to crunch get you into that time-based sort of services where you want to get out. You want to be talking, even if I was talking to an agency, I wouldn't care. All I would be speaking to them about is what is their outcome and what do they want the outcome for their client, right? Because I know if I give them two things, they will pay a premium for that. Right now, you may be presenting yourself as a set of technical skills. While valuable, they're a dime a dozen, commodity. Absolute commodity. And that's the thing I'm trying to pull all my viewers out of. I don't want you to be seen as a commodity. I don't want you to be seen as some guy that just flicks on the recorder and acts like the human tripod. I don't want you to be treated like that, because I know it all leads to price concession, day rates, hourly rates, and then you're never going to be able to build a business empire on the back end of that. It's just not going to work for you. So the technical outcome, I can film, then this is just an example. I can film great commercials. I can deliver amazing edit. I can grade this so it really pops. That's one language that you may be saying to yourself. But the income outcome is I can bring your brand's mission to life in a way that moves your audience and drives real business growth. That's one way to talk to yourself and to talk to your clients. The technician to leader, when you frame your services around transformative brand altering narratives over technical inputs, you go from contractor to creative leader. And that is valuable. That is rare, difficult to find. Not a lot of people can find it. And this is the thing that brands are seeking. They really want that leadership when it comes to, creative direction. The technical pitch would be, we'll shoot a 90-second video using and I fell into this, and, I thought when I bought a Red that this would really help my sales. I thought, I'm gonna have a Red. Now I've got a little Komodo, I've got I've got the Dragon, I've got this, I've got that, I've got all the lenses, I've got the prime lenses. We'll shoot a 90-second video using a 4K camera, professional lighting, and deliver 3 revisions. This is a technical pitch. This is not the thing you want to be talking to clients about. I don't care if it's an agency or if it's direct to brands, especially if it's direct to brands. The outcome-driven pitch is we'll undercover the soul of your brand, capture your unique story, and craft a film that captivates your audience, turning viewers into loyal customers. Okay. Now, what brand on the planet wouldn't pay for that? Like, if you could, and this is the key, you've got to deliver this. Okay. You've got to be able to deliver assets that work for your client. Right now, for those of you that your skill set, you may be going imposter syndrome, I don't have or can't make films, then possibly this video is not really for you. Really, the ones I would say to you that when you need to sharpen up your creative skills, I would say create assets that are very focused on building your client's conversion. And that can be a simple interview. It could be a simple interview. It's like helping them script out the perfect thing to lead their clients to the next stage of the sales process, whatever that is, whether they put their name and email in, whether they hit the buy now button, whether they make an appointment, whatever that is for your niche or for your client, that's the thing you want to focus on. Okay. So moving on, control the creative direction. Clients want to be led. Instead of you nervously hoping that prove the quote, you lean in excited on how your vision can connect their brand's mission with the audience at the heart. So basically what we do, and like what I did back in the day, was I used to lean into the specific type of story that I would tell for that brand that would help that specific problem that they were up against to unlock the next stage of the sale. Like the biggest part of what we can sell as videographers and video agencies is the customer journey, is breaking down a client's customer journey and really opening that up and going, where will a visual asset that I create help amplify or speed up sales? That's probably the fastest way to do that. Okay. Later on in this video, I'm actually going to show you like how you can build out your sort of funnel and your sort of, getting a client's attention and then getting them into a discovery call and then moving them into a sales call and then closing. Like where can you could take that mind map and actually build one out for your clients and explain, well, this is what I understand about your customer journey. This is where I think these 2 assets are going to go, and they're going to have, a massive impact on your sales. Okay. So control the creative direction, unshakable confidence. And this is the other thing that you're going to need. Once you've broken down the funnel side of stuff and said, these are the creative direction I'm going to give you. This is the story or the angle I'm going to give. This is how I'm going to package the cinematic asset for you. You need to deliver this with unshakable confidence. Now, in order for you to get to unshakable confidence, I'm going to show you the Project 5 in a second, but you need to have this. This is something that people can sense. You have to speak from a place of knowingness. And how do you do that? Well, we need to run these assets 5 times. You need some indisputable evidence that you can help people. This is not trickery. This is not tactical. This is real. Like build visual assets that help your client. That's it. Get them the result. Focus on it. Obsess over it. There was a quote that I think Albert Einstein, I built my whole business on the back end of this, is like something on the lines of, rather than being a man of success, become a man of value. That's what we're trying to do here. We're really adding value to the brands. This is how you get paid big money. When you are really valuable to someone and you focus on the things that actually matter, instead of rocking up to the client and going, oh, you need a video. And they're like, yeah, what do you want? And then they tell you, and then you go off and make it. No wonder you're getting paid. You've not added anything. There's no creative direction coming from you. There's no way of you looking into what will this thing do for them. Because the way I got to my creative, like the way I did my pre-production, was from taking their outcome and then reverse engineer it. Because a story that is, driven around sales and another one that is driven around perceived value, for instance, is completely different. And so the way I did it was reverse engineer what they want and then create a narrative that's going to suit that outcome. What I would do. Unshakable confidence. Okay. This might not happen for you completely overnight. We will need to do what we call a project 5. So when you adopt a strategic storytelling mindset, instead of chasing clients, you find them recognizing the true value you bring, pay you for the value, and consistently looking to you for your opinion. This is what will happen once you start getting your first client and you really give them the energy and the focus of like, this is what we're trying to do with you. This is how I'm going to help you. This is how I'm going to drive revenue for you. What you'll find is your clients' respect for you will go through the roof, and they won't be able to do anything online without consulting with you. Okay. And that leads me into a completely another video around consulting, but we'll get to that later and we'll do that for another video. Now, in order for you to start thinking about how you're going to do this, how you're going to start pitching 50K, I always like to introduce the 3S model. Okay. And I've learned this from some internet marketers across the thing. And it's very powerful because it allows you to become a heart specialist, not a general doctor. So if you had a heart problem, you wouldn't go to a general doctor, you would go to a heart specialist, and you would pay a fortune to go see that heart specialist. And so the fastest way to become a heart specialist is to use the 3S model. Okay. This is about finding a specific problem within the business. And it could be the acquisition funnel. It could be a sales video. It could be, a brand story. It could be proof and evidence around an impact story. But whatever that is, you want to have a specific problem that you are looking for to a specific type of person and have a specific creative solution. Okay. And this allows you to easily position your offer as the bridge between your client's challenges and the results they want, making price far less for the obstacle. Basically, what I'm saying here is that if you are getting very good at a specific problem, what happens is you become a heart specialist. That heart specialist leads you to becoming very valuable because you're so specialized. Now, once you've done this, once you've got your specific person, your specific problem, and your specific creative solution, and I probably will make a future video on how to build out a creative methodology and what I call CIP, which is creative intellectual property, on how you make stuff and how you can build that so it's unique for you. It's a little bit like you creating your own KFC recipe, right? That thing is worth billions of dollars. Well, you need to have something for you that you can demonstrate to a client and say, this is how we make stuff. This is our recipe. You don't give it completely away, but you say we have our own CIP, our own creative intellectual property, that how we make stuff, how we solve this specific problem, how we solve it for this specific person, how we, come up with this creative solution to you is through this method or this model or this process or this unique mechanism. This is what we want to demonstrate to the client, because that again will make you stand out. Not from a tactical point of view, but really, this is how you make stuff. This is how you do it. But what we're doing is we're packaging it and we're delivering it into the client in a package that they're going to feel that it's completely valuable. And that's the key here. So we run this, what we call a project 5, through a flywheel. This flywheel is the 5X offer feedback loop. First, we make a sale. One sale, then we deliver it. And now this is what a lot of people are afraid to do, but don't do it. And you should do it, because this is how billion-dollar companies get made, is they collect insights. It doesn't matter if it's bad or good. If it's good insights, collect it. You create a document, and anything that the client says that was bad about working with you, you're now going to bring it into what you call the insight documentation. You collect these insights, then you go away and you refine that offer, remove the things that didn't work, add the things that did, amplify the things that did, and then go out and make another sale and then run it through again, deliver, collect more insights, take away the stuff that didn't work, add the things that did. Like, one of the things that I discovered running a 5X offer feedback loop was that most of my brand stories, when I gave them, they didn't get a lot of traffic. So what did I come up with? I came up with the idea that every brand story came with a media buyer. I had a 1 month's media buyer. I would throw 1,000 of my own money into the brand story to give them a month's worth of traffic. And I would pay my media buyer $1,000 or something like that. And that helped lift the story across things like Insta and YouTube and et cetera, but I would have never been able to get to that if I hadn't have gone through this feedback loop. And this is how you will build a remarkable offer. This is how you're going to get bigger budgets, because by the time you get to your 7th sale, you have such a defined, dialed in offer that everything you produce now just gets results to that specific person, to the specific problem, to the specific creative solution. At first, we have to guess. And so it's not going to be straight off the bat, you watch this video and go, boom. But a lot of you are sitting on like insights, but just too afraid to ask your client. But you get that gold and then you take it away, the stuff that didn't work or the thing that slowed it down or the client wasn't happy about this or happy about that. Another thing that I did through the feedback loop, and this is so valuable, is that giving people 3 revisions for me just didn't work. I had an internal guarantee with my editors that basically we are working on a project until that client's happy. So put your best fucking forward. Don't play around. Like that was a way of holding editors, particularly subcontract editors, that if you had to pull them in, I'd say, look, part of the deal is I'm not putting you on this project unless you understand that this client is going to be happy no matter what. We are 100% guaranteeing our work. And I got that because, I started off like a lot of you watching this, like, where you give them 3 rounds of changes, but they have to take that 3rd round and they're just not that happy. But I found out through the inside loop that don't do that, just get them happy. And that's basically what I did. Now, what I want to talk about is balancing creativity with strategy. While the creative will be the variable, and it will be now, like pretty much your strategy for your niche, it's not really going to change. The common sense for a strategy is building out a good customer journey, right? But on the same hand, you want to be injecting that strategic content, that strategic way of thinking. If you can help them create a CAA, which is a cinematic acquisition asset, let's say that you create that for your client and they want to do a brand story, and you say, look, if you create the brand story and it generates a sale, before your sales guy gets on to that call, why don't we create an asset that shows proof, shows what it's like to work with you, and so that we are pre-framing that call so that when your sales guy gets on, it's already answered like 10 of the most frequently asked questions, shown evidence, shown absolute hard proof, and it's just going to make your sales department, it's going to be far more easier for them to close deals. So you want to inject strategy there. So while creatives will be the variable with all clients, branding and marketing, leave the ideation and creative to pre-production. Instead, let the strategy and your unique methodology be the focus. Highlight how you process will create or amplify a tangible outcome. Again, we want to be constantly, like when we're doing the doctoring or the discovery call, we want to be collecting them insights. Again, we become insight collectors, and we want to be tying all that information to the outcome. Okay, Mr. Client, your problem is this. You're lacking conversion. Okay, Mr. Client, your goal is to get to $1 million in sales per month. Okay, this is the strategic way we're going to do it. This is the method that we're going to do it. And you make it all about what they actually want. Okay, price on value. So position your pricing not just around the work involved, but around the value it provides. Again, we're talking outcome. But the simplest acquisition to follow once we've gone through this 5 offer feedback loop, and I don't care how you get these 5, but you need 5 to build a remarkable offer. We can't just go in and just guess it. We've got to get information from the market so that we know what is dialed in and what isn't dialed in. And I spent so much time on this, and this is why a lot of you struggle, because you're too afraid to ask the question. You're too afraid to ask, hey, what was really bad about my services? What was the thing that held you back? Where didn't it not work? Where can I improve? What if I introduced a media buyer? What if I did this? What if I did that? I'm collecting that shit because I know my next project, I'm going to introduce that to the next sale. And that's how I'm creating a value. Like, this is a flywheel that creates value. Every time I sold one, I put it through the flywheel all the time. And so this is how you come to this sort of pitching on value, because you're so focused on impact and outcome. Okay. Now, the simple equation to follow once you have gone through that is you want to take 10% of the outcome. So if you're doing $1 million a month, you want to put them on a retainer for around 100,000 a month, right? If you're doing, 100,000, then, it's going to be 10% of whatever you are giving them a chance of success. Okay. And I have a full breakdown of like the conversion and how to do that. And for those of you that want me to lean into a bit more of that and do a full breakdown and video on that, just comment on the video below. But it's around 10%. Now, what I want to talk about here is closing with consistency. Okay. Your funnel or your thing that you're going to create. Now, this funnel that you create is what we used when I was running Humanize You. Okay, so basically the lead source is organic content. You're either going to get a referral, paid traffic, referral partner, and cold outreach. This is how we did sort of our sales process in a very black and white, easy way, without knowing your specific, what you actually do, you watching this, because there's so many of you watching. This is a generalized overview of how I would build a sales process in. So first you would get the client from here, and then what you would do, and this is something that I don't see a lot of people do, and they think you should do it, is create some kind of what I call CAA, cinematic acquisition asset. This is a thing where you show proof around the project 5 of you giving them absolute proof and evidence of what you can do for them. And then you explain the method to getting them where they come. Now, you could create this as a customized one, or you could have a general video that's like something you send to them. But you must send this before you go to the discovery call. Once you're on the discovery call, that's when you find out all the more specific insights. And then from there, you'll prepare a deck, like a brand deck, so that you can propose the call and then the closed call, and then it closes. Now, I've also included here, for those of you in the Growth Academy for Filmmakers, I can actually give you this diagram if you want. Just go over there. Link should be down below. But if they don't close, then you add them to a newsletter so that you're consistently nurturing them through your perspective and then what you need to say. So this is pretty much like a very general sort of, I would say, your acquisition funnel. But what I was saying to you before is when you're looking for ways to create value, you can actually take a mind map like this and work with your client on your project 5 and break down what their customer journey is and figure out where can we create cinematic assets around the funnel. Because I'm telling you to create one. I'm telling you to create a cinematic an acquisition asset that you send to someone before you get on that call. The reason you do that is because it's going to pre-frame the call for you as the videographer or the video agency. But you can do this for your clients. And some of these bigger brands have massive journeys where you can put these assets absolutely everywhere. And because they're so vital to the sales process, this is how you can really transform a brand and really, 5-10x them and then demand a premium budget. Okay. So that's something that I really want you to look at. The last part of this is just brand stories for me are the ultimate leverage provider for any video business in 2025. They go deeper than just technical and unlock your clients and are truly looking for. And not only that, guys, for you watching this, like brand stories, cinematic stories, really humanizing brands and taking them through that. Not only does it really help your client, not only does it help with their conversion, their perceived value, their trust, their market share. Big one is differentiation. But aside all that shit, they're also so much fun and creatively fulfilling to work on. And so to me, it's like the holy grail, the thing you should be selling, the thing you should be positioning and selling to all brands, and then placing them in their customer journey or their client acquisition funnel or infrastructure so that these assets move the needle. For those of you that are interested in working with the 500K brand story creator that want to work one-to-one with us, there's a link down below. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, comment. It really does help the channel grow. As you know, I'm going to keep putting out content as long as you guys are getting value from it. And I will see you in the next video.